Thank you for enjoying your sweetest moments, merging timelines. I'm your host, Melly Mells, an angelic melody Melanie, the airy fairy mystic. Today's message is going to be a reflection of all of the things that I have been reflecting on in this away time. I've tried very hard to give myself because it's hard to pull back in places you want to be seen. Noting that being seen is most gently overstood when you can be accountable for its productivity. So it's not always about how much we produce, but the quality of what we're producing. And that is our awareness. It's been our awareness for a while. I'm going to go through some of my notes that I just jotted down just before I entered this time and space we share. It is the very spaces you needed to be right that hold you in a space you've outgrown. Digesting its polarity with compassion is to project wholeness and not more forms of separation. No more name calling. I wrote that to myself because I used to start this reading with the collective, the light world, the false world, and I was reminded through the Most High message that our first and main language will always be telepathy. In these times, we are experiencing subjects competing, but this is only to sharpen the tool and the intention, okay? Because no one understands a study more than the practitioner. Please understand that at this time, we are birthing through ourselves, through our expressions within one another, right? Those that are closest to you, those that you find attracted to you. And the birthing we want to understand so that we do not deny its multiplication. I saw that in the form of children, but some of us don't have children, so we are to note that there are other angles, always three angles that we share in time and space. As we're third dimensional beings, and our time shared is to create unity, comfort within being the middle, not being at the top and not being at the bottom, because we are the teacher and the receiver, as you've heard me say many times on the channel. Also noting that the reason why you are to look at both angles with such compassion is to bring unity amongst the land. And there will be no unity if we are still in class. Okay? And class would say that we are looking for a teacher or someone to follow. When we are in the age of Aquarius, looking for its reflection of a digested internal study, so that its multiplication is not something that we continue to die with denial, but birth with acceptance. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing its time with me, because I've been growing, and I know you've been growing. And I know this entire time we weren't to formulate judgment on one another. although we may fall victim of its construct from time to time. So I forgive myself for judging, and I forgive you if you judged me as well. We're just going to do a collective spread. Here goes that name calling again. Forgive me, Most High. It's going to take some time to shake some old habits. I know you feel its discomfort. We all have bad habits, but who is to judge? What's going on in the environment? What a beautiful card to start our spread with. I was looking up the meanings of having like dimples, and I have a left dimple, so this was kind of described as like a kiss from the spiritual realm, you name it, just divine protection. I feel like this is like, this person is like a kiss. Your protector is, and this is not in actual reality, right? So don't look for who's gonna kiss me around you, but that you have this sense of grace. And I got the card grace today too, that is being expressed all around you. Such a beautiful card, and people have been taking a direction away from you, okay? Some people have been moving away from you, but don't take it personally. Take it as if we've all done our study on one another. We've inverted back in to study ourselves, okay? We're building our individual kingdom on this land. And when we accepted our 144 frequency and we took it out of the closet and we wore it, we then decided that we would define its reflection with compassion for its polarity. So what you were attracting was going to be the total opposite of you. It was going to require your forgiveness and your self-acceptance to see it in plain sight. We're still in transformation season, so a lot of us are still doing this. And our heart is not shown to us at this time. It's being worked on. So our heart is being worked on through the universal law of correspondence. What we've given, we're already receiving, and we don't even notice that. Judgment is here. But who's to judge, right? Who is to judge? We'll soon find out. Because we're releasing old habits, toxic behaviors, name calling, Mel. What's another thing that I've been releasing? Judgment. Looking to see who's going in the right direction and who's not, as if I'm here to judge its waves. What's another thing that I've been trying to release at this time within my 144 frequency, to be the most beautiful vibe I can possibly be, and then look for its reflection. Because in the last video, I was explaining to you that the mother energy is finding that they will only be comfortable with change if they make it comfortable for themselves. There's still a lot of decisions that are being made on us. And it's been through our own reluctancy. Wow, that's like, oh, that advice sucks. So, the 8 of Cups. Walk away from things that you're still feeling doesn't match what you're looking for, because that's the change that you need. You need to not look to celebrate old times, but new times. Times of change. You've been dreaming of this all along. You believe in dragons. You believe in fairies. You believe in beautiful kingdoms. You believe in the purity of all souls. Not just the ones you feel are woke or awaken, but the purity of all souls that are looking to free their beings. Let's look at what we don't see. In our heart, it's been our mind that's been playing tricks on us. We were set free a while ago. We were set free maybe in the beginning of December. I want to say the beginning of winter. I feel a lot of things were set free in the beginning of winter, and we decided to hold on to its remembrance by piercing our own heart. This happens with like inflicting pain onto ourselves. We talked about that form of remembrance. Remember. It was a message that we were getting from earlier on in, I even want to say it was summer, that we were getting this remember message. And I was thinking, and I looked out to a brother on the community page that I had, and he was talking about remember too. And so I was like, wow, the collective, here we go again with the name calling, forgive me, Most High. I'm going to move on because I want to stay out of that. Remember. Those messages were messages of the past. So there was someone of the past that was asking us to remember something that we didn't want to remember. We weren't looking to be a reflection of it anymore. We were looking to free ourselves of that. And it was a hard decision for us to make. Remember the guy with the crutches, and they were going to be holding on to us and saying, I can't do it without you. I can't. And we made that difficult decision to say, you can, because I'm protected, so are you, even when you don't see. So merging its timeline, we embodied that form of sense of believing in ourselves, and that message is then being taken back. So if people are talking around you, it's because they're talking about how much you believed in yourself. They're talking about how could you be so free? Isn't that a phenomenon? That you could be so free. It's the very lead that people are the most impressed on. But then moving into its birthing process, which is the feeling, which we talked about in the notes, was, where is it in the notes? The birthing. So the things that we deny are going to be around us. And that was the message that I got in the tub. I've been able to take these beautiful baths where I pour all different types of Epsom salt, and I use this vitamin D oil, and I just submerge, and I feel like I've given myself new life, right? I hope it's not appropriating anything, but it is just me taking the tools that I have received through the projection of the human collective and then applying it back into myself again. And I find that that's what the dark energy is doing. Anyone who has been seen to be in this unknown, this projected sense of fear because people were like, what the heck is wrong with you? Anyone who's been in that place right now is going back in, and they're applying all of these angles. They gave themselves the right to use any tool they found necessary. And they've been fighting that for themselves and saying, I can do this. I give myself the right. And people are saying, who? Where's your mother? Where's your father? Within me and my Most High message, the message that I'm trying to be its reflection of on the land, that says, please do the same. What I do for me, please do for you. Because that's why I get up here and project it, and I shout it at the top of my lungs, and I so proudly step with self-acceptance and forgiveness for all of its becoming. So you are doing this right now. Free your mind. I love that song, Free Mind. Because you've already been released from the past pains. I told you when we got this 144 and took it off the closet, put it on ourselves, that this was it for us. No more were we in that remembrance of pain. But were we only speaking of it? I believe so. I have to be 110% honest, and I know many people probably won't receive this at this time. But I will say that we were projecting its sense of remembrance. And that's that big message there about don't deny what you are birthing now through its understanding. Speak of times when this doesn't exist. Speak of times when there's nothing but the formulated study expressed within wholeness. Meaning that you took its two angles from its mother and father world and put it back together to become the median, the child, the inner child that studied and felt and studied medium. Because there's still things that are being decided on you that you don't even know about. I do believe that people are trying to decide, who have you been this entire time? And what was your intention? So just as much as the subjects, meaning the subjects are people who study its same tool. And I've seen it. I felt it. I'm not going to deny. People want you to deny your feeling because then you'd be deemed as sensitive. But your sensitivity is your gift. And if anyone tries to deny you your sensitivity, they didn't want you to pick up on its tune. Okay? So moving into its highest timeline, who's to judge? I think we'll find out. Because what we are noticing is that the advice has been something that we've already gotten ourselves out of. Our advice is something that we've already celebrated, but we've accepted some angles of loss in it. And our advice is those messages that we felt like we were too high and mighty to receive from anyone but ourselves. But again, it is the very spaces you have needed to be right that held you in a space you've already outgrown. I receive what I give to you. I read in a mirror. So walk away from anything that doesn't make you feel the changes you have become. Because you've dreamt of these times and you may have been very impatient in its processing. I know that I have. You may have been very unforgiving in its becoming. I know that I have. You may have lacked the self-acceptance of the things that you were able to become aware of and projected all of these three angles we just discussed in a form of remembrance. But who's to judge? We'll find out. spring is upon us and the new year rings. My birthday was in January, but I don't celebrate my 33rd birthday until next winter because I move with the celestial time. And so the beginning is coming again. Only this time I feel like the beginning is going to be the biggest sign that what we start from now will be the same for years to come. Because all we'll be doing, instead of projecting its lack of understanding, will be its perfecting. And remember, I said, we're not teaching anyone, we're only practicing. And so I really do believe that at this time, we have a sense of humor about us because we realize that we've just been a group of very impatient people. And we've been projecting its impatientness onto everyone else and trying to say that we know that this is coming. And it's only been our own becoming from the entire time. So people constantly appreciate my wonderful sense of humor. I don't know about you, but people think that I'm hilarious in real time. And I mean that by not coming up here and just being in one mind frame, which is the mind frame of just projecting all that I have processed before. But when I'm around just vibrating with people and I'm literally just doing my day-to-day job, which I'm an administrative assistant, and I have the coolest job where I just gatekeep for the company and I not burdened with a lot of its responsibility, but just very effective with communication. I find a lot of us who are receiving this, and I told you, we're not all readers, we're not all musicians, we're not all teachers, we're all different angles of our reality, but it is impossible to have a depressing thought when we are willing to sincerely laugh. Laughter can help us to look at our lives from a new and stimulating perspective. So many times we live too seriously and cause ourselves and others unnecessary pain and suffering. Humor makes things flow, melts the ice, and reveals true beauty for everyone. So laugh. It's good for the body and the soul to laugh. So the angle of patience. My patience creates miracles in my life. My patience creates miracles in my life. Wow, that one came up crystal clear. With the quality of patience, we will know how to follow the energy flow towards the success of our accomplishments, moment by moment, step by step, if we allow a loving patience to come through. Without expecting things to happen rapidly, we will become aware that everything we do has a real value. Nature gives us the greatest example of loving patience through the wonderful treasures that it creates. What a beautiful message. I'm so happy with how everything came out today. I'm so happy with the time that we've shared. I felt very free in its expression, although I failed many times to uphold my own senses of becoming. Forgiveness is necessary still. So I do forgive myself, and I do ask you all to forgive me as well for the times that I've shown up shorter than I wanted in my heart. Because I know that once I project it, you'll receive it and then feel the same, as we are reflections of the world that we want to see. Remembering that we've been dreaming all along. We've been dreaming all along of the changes I think this is it. It's been a while. I've missed you. I haven't watched very many because I unfollowed a lot. But that's not because the love was ever lost, but just transformed and transcended through a form of forgiveness. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.